Welcome to the Nonprofit Accelerator, brought to you by matchinggifts.com. We believe every dollar raised can transform both nonprofits and corporations alike. I'm your host, Josh, and I'm here to guide you through today's episode about in-kind donations. You know, we spend so much of our time in this sector chasing the check, right? Like, we're always looking for that next grant, that next major donor, the recurring monthly gift. And honestly, that is the lifeblood of what we do. But what if I told you that some of the most significant resources you need to hit your mission goals literally might not cost you a dime? Look, before you tune out thinking, Josh, I don't need any more used clothes dropped off at my office door. We aren't just talking about old sweaters here. We're talking about a strategic, high-level approach to non-monetary giving that can completely offset your operational costs. We're going to break down 3 specific strategies to get the goods, services, and expertise you need without tapping into your bank account. If you've ever looked at your budget and thought, there is no way we can afford a graphic designer, or how are we going to pay for this event venue? This episode is 100% for you. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to leverage corporate assets to drive real impact. So let's get into it. Okay. First, we have to kind of set the stage here. When we say in kind, we need to think bigger than just physical stuff. You've got your tangible goods. Sure, that's the office supplies, the food for the pantry, maybe technology hardware, but then you have services and expertise. This is huge. This is legal representation, IT support, or financial services, things that would usually cost you thousands of dollars in consultant fees. And then there's the stuff we rarely think about. Intangible items, like the use of a facility for an event or advertising time or even intellectual property. And finally, gifts of securities, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. So keeping that broad spectrum in mind, let's jump into our first major strategy. I call this the Gatekeeper Strategy. Here's the thing. A lot of nonprofits get overwhelmed by in-kind gifts because they become a dumping ground for things they don't need. The strategy here is to flip that dynamic by creating a really robust in-kind gift acceptance policy combined with a strategic wish list. It sounds boring, I know, policy work. But stay with me. A clear policy sets the expectation. It tells the donor, hey, we are professional. We have a process. You need to define exactly what you accept to ensure it aligns with your mission. You have to consider storage. Do you have room for 50 boxes of books? Probably not. You also need a process for evaluating these gifts. And then you pair that with the wish list. This is your offensive play. Instead of waiting to see what people give you, you tell them what you need. And I mean, be specific. Don't just say office supplies. Say, we need 3 laptops for our after-school program. Or, we need a pro bono attorney to review our bylaws. Why does this work? Because it prioritizes usability. It stops the junk at the door and invites the high-value stuff in. It essentially trains your donors to think like partners in your operations, rather than just people cleaning out their garage. Okay, moving on to strategy number 2. This one is probably my favorite because it leverages data you might already have. Let's call this the corporate detective strategy. This is all about using employment information to unlock giving opportunities. You know, so many of your individual donors. They work for companies. And those companies? They often have corporate social responsibility programs, or CSR. Here's what you're going to do. You look at your donor list, you find out where they work, and then you tap into that company's ecosystem. There are a few layers to this. First, there's the classic matching gift companies matching cash donations. But did you know a lot of companies also have volunteer time off or specialized skills-based volunteering programs? Imagine you have a donor who works at a big tech firm. Instead of just asking them for $50, you could ask them if their company encourages pro bono IT support. Suddenly, you're getting thousands of dollars worth of server maintenance for free. You could utilize tools like Double the Donations corporate giving database. It's a centralized tool that aggregates this info. It finds those matching gift programs, but also the in-kind programs that are usually buried in some employee handbook somewhere. The reason this works is efficiency. You aren't cold calling. You are using a warm lead, your existing donor, to unlock the massive resources of their employer. It's working smarter, not harder. All right, this one is for anyone who runs events. We'll call the third strategy the visibility swap. Events are expensive: catering, venue, printing. It adds up fast. The visibility swap is about targeting local businesses for these specific line items. You aren't asking for money, you're asking for the thing itself in exchange for marketing. So let's say you're hosting a gala. You need food. You approach a local restaurant. But, and this is key, you don't just say, "Can you give us free food?" You say, "We have an opportunity for you to get your food in front of 300 local leaders. In exchange for catering, we will put your logo on the signage, shout you out on social media, and include you in the newsletter." You treat it like a business transaction. You are trading visibility and goodwill for goods. This works because it appeals to the business owner's bottom line, marketing, and their desire for community connection. It's a total win-win. Recognizing and celebrating these donors creates loyalty. They feel like a partner in the event, not just a checkbook. So, just to pause for a second and reflect on this. Why does this matter right now? We're seeing a pattern where nonprofits are being asked to do more with less. Inflation is up, costs are rising. And there is this untapped reservoir of value in the corporate world. These companies want to give back. It boosts their image. It helps with their taxes. Don't forget, they get a deduction for the fair market value of these goods. And it engages their employees. It's almost like, imagine you're trying to build a house, and you're begging for money to buy bricks. Meanwhile, the guy next door owns a brick factory and is looking for a place to put his extra inventory. If you just keep asking for money, you miss the fact that the bricks are right there. In-kind donations help you bridge that gap. It allows you to focus your liquid cash on the things you can't get donated, like salaries and rent, while letting the community fill in the rest. Okay, let's wrap this up. We covered a lot of ground. We talked about the Gatekeeper Strategy, using strict policies and specific wish lists to get what you actually need. We talked about the Corporate Detective, using donor employment data to find pro bono services and corporate matching. And we talked about the Visibility Swap, trading marketing value for event costs with local businesses. If I can leave you with one next step today, it's this. Go look at your budget for next month. Pick one line item. Maybe it's printing, maybe it's software, maybe it's catering for a board meeting. And ask yourself, could I get this in kind? Then go find one local partner or look at your donor list to see who might be able to fill that gap. Just try it once this week. You might be surprised at how willing people are to help when you ask for something specific other than money. Thanks for listening to the Nonprofit Accelerator. Check out matchinggifts.com for more. Go out there and leverage the power of workplace giving. Till next time, I'm Josh. Take care and keep building the foundation for fully utilizing workplace giving.